So guys, long time no talk. So let's just talk about the point blank interest real quick. A short burst here. Short burst, short shotgun burst. Burst. Star burst. Alright. So day before 4th of July, we have plenty of countdowns going down. Yet again. So it seems like a lot of encryption, a lot of involved in it. I haven't tried to be breaking any codes after the last ordeal with the whole Tingri and Seven's Exposed and all of that, where there was just some pretty smart people behind it. It's just not the build-up. The build-up was more than what the release was. It was just when you're self-proclaiming yourself to be an alien race, and you ain't nothing but an MIT student. Come on now. I should have taught you better that in 3rd grade. So, unfortunately, the countdowns don't do so much for me, except for make me question and follow along with the countdown. Don't do no decrypting or, try to do any of that stuff anymore. So, there I am with that. But, nonetheless, there's a countdown. Nonetheless, the weather anomalies are currently off the chart. Completely bizarre. Look at Arizona, okay? You live in a region right now that's seems like it's normal and everything. Take a look at Arizona in the United States, okay? That's kind of a hot one there. A little bit in the records, okay? Of course, we have those anomalies. We have some other anomalies that are bizarre to me that pop up on the radar. Let's talk about Germany. Guess what? Germany has annihilated free speech. What does free speech mean to people? Well, guess what's right after free speech? What leads to speech? Thought. That's right. You think of something, you confess it. Okay? They're telling you that you have the inability to speak. If you mess up when you speak, you can get fined big time. Okay? Everybody's entitled to be able to say what they want. Everybody's entitled to be able to think how they want. Usually within a sustained society that follows certain rules and can have the comprehension of rules, things kind of fall into place. Is it a system of perfection? No, by any means it is not a system of perfection. But just to go off of reference of something that has recently happened here within the United States, let's talk about the Kathy Griffin thing. Okay, Kathy Griffin had the ability to get in front of a camera, a room full of people, photograph, a video, herself holding up a mock construction of President Trump's head, bloodied and tattered. Okay? That's freedom. You can do that. You can definitely do that. Unfortunately, because of her status, there were repercussions. And it wasn't enforced by a law. It was forced by a majority morality. Okay? Those are two words that we should learn. Majority and morality. Okay? Makes me wonder what the consensus is as a majority as to what the morality of Germany is. Is it so bad that they will follow a drop of a dime? Or they can, America has a more of a process, okay? And it's fortunate and it's unfortunate. It's a double-sided sword. I think it's more fortunate than not that we kind of see things, we make a judgment, and then we kind of wait to see where that line is. But we already internally know and go, oh yeah. But you'll see by my posts, whenever I judge something, that's how I feel about it. That's how I think about it. And you'll see, when I post something, I post it pretty quick. That's how I feel about it. And I don't have any shame in it. I don't really have a whole lot of shame in my game because the way that I feel is pretty honest. Comes from a pretty genuine place. And it comes from a place of the heart. And I know that there's certain things that I don't do from a certain heart. And there are certain things that I do out of greed. And there are certain things that I do strictly because I'm a parent. The whole said so thing. My children don't understand it, but I do. But it comes from a good place. As long as you reinforce it and try to explain yourself and justify yourself, and by all means end up coming from a good place, you should be good. People will hear. But going back, we have a situation where freedom of speech is now finable. And what does that mean to America? Well, it could be dangerous because that is what they call, you can call it a prototype, you can call it a model, you can call it however you want. They're trying something in that country. Everybody's going to be watching to see what the pros and cons of that are. Okay? You look at anybody who's a inventor, anybody that's a designer, architect, anybody that has a business that is proficient and is large, they compare. Don't you know that Duncan Hines is going to be wondering what Betty Crocker is going to be coming out with, and they're going to try to counter it, or they're going to try to duplicate. That's how world works. It's period. You either duplicate it or counter it. That's how improvements are made. That's how the strives for betterment occur. Okay? So hopefully we can look at this thing that's taking place in Germany and scoff it. Because once they take away your free speech, once they take that from you, my friend, you will be very limited on the way that you think. If you can't say certain things, and I fall out with a lot of crap out of my mouth. I think it's sometimes funny. Most people don't think it's funny. But I have that option to unbottle my mouth around my close ones, my family, and when I get home, around that dinner table, don't tell them what could be said. I do know when and where I need to speak, so I do keep that in mind. But what if you have to monitor yourself all of the time? What if it had to be monitored all the time? The problem therein becomes your subconscious mind becoming aware to a situation, and you have altered the way that you talk. You've altered your being. You're not who you really are in a lot of aspects. Okay? So it is a limitation to free speech, is a limitation to freedom, period. If you're always conscientious of something, now I'm not talking about in a polite manner. I'm not talking about in politeness. You should always be polite. You should always be helpful. You should always be loving. It doesn't always work that way. And that's what creates this life. And that's the sustenance of life, is the chaotic part about it. Is the merging of all of these things that are unbeknownst equations. It's just the chaotic factor. That's what life is to me, anyway. That's what it is to me. So, but you limit freedoms like that. There's something else underlying there. Why? Why would you feel like it's necessary to make me pay $50 million because I say I don't agree with this, or I say something that offends somebody? Okay, it's okay. It's okay. The thing that should remain illegal is harm, bodily harm, goods damaged. These kind of things should remain illegal. Okay? These are, you inhibit speech, you inhibit thought. The construct of creation is inhibited. You don't have the people that reach and strive. Then again, maybe you do. I don't know, maybe people strive under pressure and try to overcome. But I see a lot of flourishing come from encouragement, and when you can toss it around in a society. I mean, the Kathy Griffin thing might have been a terrible example because, man, that's some damn extreme stuff right there. But, you know, taking off something that wasn't so extreme, let's talk about a television pilot. A pilot, it goes out, it goes over the air, They watch the Nelson ratings. Nelson ratings, that's pretty much your purveyor. That's your pretty much of the acceptance, people's acceptance of it, yes or no, of whether it's copacetic or not. Unfortunately, a lot of us have dwelled into darker areas lately, and more, especially morally, but uh, and that's why some of the darker, edgier stuff has become prevalent. Now, I think that some of it has become a little bit too dark and too prevalent, and it steers our society in a weird thing. And I'm about to do a video on that something that's come to light. But the free speech is kind of important as we go into our 4th of July, our Independence Day. And that's another thing. All these anomalies happening right around 4th of July is kind of weird because there's a lot of references to 4th of July. There's a lot of subliminal messages and a lot of concurrence lining up to this thing called basically disclosure. What disclosure is referred to as acknowledging an alien presence, or saying that we have had communication, or that yes, it is definitely 100% proof. Okay, that's what disclosure is. And a lot of people are saying that there could be a government operation to disinform, and this, if there is disclosure, that it's not real. Okay, let's make it completely well aware that there is a TR3B. I reported on this earlier. That there's a TR3B that has been, in fact, registered with the patent office. Okay, so what that means is that the government has the ability to create these, whether it came from a Roswell incident, whether it came from a great mind of America or German, whatever. They have the ability. They have a patent out for it. Okay, so it is within reason that if an alien presence comes upon us this week, and there is some disclosure, you may or may not want it. You may or may want to take it with a grain of salt. You may or may not want to watch your back. You may or may not want to do whatever you want to do. But I'm just telling you what is being theorized at this point. That it could be disclosure, but as well, the disclosure could be a government operation. Okay? So that's the pulse. That's the beat right there. All I can say is going into the 4th of July with this freedom of speech thing in Germany being, kind of outlandish to me. Let's take time to love one another, enjoy the freedoms that we have, and have the speech to say that we love the people that we love. Okay? Let's have a great 4th of July. I love my country, and I'm very proud to say that I'm American. And have a happy 4th of July. Have a good one. Love you all. Just as a side note, I picked up on a story where Assange has retweeted a bunch of his death threats. And that's also kind of weird, because in some continuity, this countdown could be alongside with some of the Vault 7 releases. As we all know, Vault 7, well, let's just say most of those who follow WikiLeaks or anything to involve with CIA involvement or software manipulation to spy on American people and people abroad. Assange is the founder of WikiLeaks, and it's just kind of interesting. It's just kind of interesting because Anonymous Scandinavia, which is also kind of linked to Assembly Cat, which is linked to Assange, was the founder. We posted it on this countdown. So whatever it is coming out here tonight. So just kind of curious. What is this countdown? Is it linked? Does it have anything to do with these death threats? That's just a wonder. I had to add on to this before I published it out. So I'm sure the clarity is going to be quite better. But hop over to WikiLeaks, take a look at it. There's a story from RT that will explain a little bit better. I might send a link into the description about this particular piece that I'm talking about with Assange recirculating death threats on him. So just interesting, man. Life is a chaotic collection of variables. Just don't ever forget within that variable, the greatest frequency number has to be love. All right, guys, have a happy 4th.